Hey everybody, it's Bus with Battles with Bus number 146, and today we're going to be doing battle with Bard Poppy Jarvan. And so my daily followers know we're getting ready to approach seasonals. My kind of ideal for our seasonals lineup is I'm going to ban Kaisa and then try to play decks that are good against both Pirates and Darkness. And the way that we've gotten there now is we're just going to play Action Kaisa, we're going to play Scouts, and then we've been looking to play Trundle, Tryndamere, Feel the Rush. I'll just end up calling that Trundlemere the rest of the way. But I don't feel like ultra comfortable playing Trundlemere. I feel like it's a good deck. We're certainly going to see it in seasonals. It's certainly going to make its way into a lot of top cuts, but I personally just haven't really put in the time to get competent with it. And so I'm starting to kind of like look elsewhere in terms of whether or not I want to play it. I did play about 15, 20 games of it yesterday, managed a positive win rate, but it wasn't enough to make me be like, oh yeah, I feel really excited to take a deck like this into seasonals. And so to kind of expand out on where we're feeling comfortable, I feel like we haven't really given Bard the time of day. I don't feel like the nerf that he took in the 3-1-3 patch was very big. It's certainly relevant, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel like it's as big as people are giving it credit for, where he's just completely gotten wiped off the map. And I think it's worth investigating if we can't bring it in our lineup, as this is a deck that does extremely well against a lot of the mid-range decks in the format. Decks like Scouts get really upset to play against a deck like this, because as they play a lot of the same units that we do, right? The Scouts decks are going to be playing Fleet Feather Trackers and Brightsteel Protectors and Durandi Sculptors and Petricite Broadwings and the like, but our units are just bigger, right? And so if you play a 3 health Broadwing and then we play a 4 health Broadwing, it's very easy for us to just get advantages on those boards. And so I think we're in a spot to where this could be pretty well positioned and pretty well off of the radar. And I'm wanting to kind of give it a go. Now, kind of the places I've made some concessions in the upcoming format is I'm pretty happy to be just slamming, I know it's Genevieve, but get real, we're going to call this Genvivi as well. Get with the club, this is the way we're doing shit. I'm pretty happy to be playing Genvivi as kind of the cornerstone of all of our decks, if you will. All three of our decks at this point would look to be playing this combo of Genevieve and Cataclysm and Golden Aegeus with a big go wide kind of mindset. And I think that this is I've been calling it the punch, right? This is the kind of thing that we need to close out a lot of these late games and really take over the boards and finish it off. And so you don't typically see Genvivi amongst the Bard Poppy Jarvan list. They usually cut off their curve around 4, but I'm okay with being a little bit slower here today. So outside of that, the list should be fairly straightforward. We're playing one copy of Radiant Guardian as our concession to Pirate still being in the format, playing a single copy of Blinding Assault. I like this for a couple of reasons. It lets us Cataclysm on our opponent's turn to pick up a rally. It also fits into our curve to where if we don't play anything on the first turn, and then have a curve like Durandi Sculptor into Petricite Broadwing, we can then play a unit on turn 3 since it's spell mana based, and it fits nicely in here with the remaining Challenger theme. And so that's kind of one of the spaces I'm considering is, do we want to like add in another Blinding Assault, probably at the cost of Laurent Protege. Not really amped about the likes of Protege in a deck like this, but I'm really just wanting to get kind of our feet wet here with the kind of base version, and then we'll tune it up a little bit later if we like how this plays out. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get to battle with Bard. I did check to see if we'd paid the pay-to-win price, and we're looking good. Everything is well and paid. Everything in here is all premium except for our champions, and so looking good in that sense. Let's go ahead and get into battle. Did manage to roll into Masters. I didn't do it in the previous video that we were recording, but shortly after, pushed our way on up. This is a deck I've been seeing a ton of as soon as we hit Masters. Tons and tons and tons of people playing Ezreal Kennen. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's as popular as it is, but it's something that we're going to have to come out and be prepared for. It's certainly making itself known. Pretty annoying to battle against. It's just like combo decks don't tend to have the most fun and interactive lines running along with them. But reasonable enough collection of bros here. We have the answer to his Eye of the Dragon for the next turn. Should be pretty tough for him to pop off a the spell to get the Dragonling on that turn. But now he can, of course, like Mystic Shot a Broadwing to protect the dragon. We'll see. Definitely be happy to take it down if we can. I'm going to hook Kennen over here onto the Fleet Feather Tracker. He's going to get recalled. There's no way that this Kennen is going to die in this combat, and so let's punch in the extra damage with our Broadwing down here if we can, and put in the small hook into Kennen. He's doing this. He's recalling our Broadwing. This will give him a dragon for the next turn. Okay. Not bad. Got to build up a little bit to punch through his board here, but might be okay. And then this is a spot where it's like, I want to play Poppy on this round, but against this deck, you have to be really careful in terms of playing on curve, right? Where you play a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Ezreal Kennen is usually able to take advantage of that, and like if we're just dropping Poppy, he's going to be able to recall her or stun her out of combat or something on the next turn. And so on our turn 5, I'm going to be looking to add Broadwing Protege because it's just very dangerous to follow up with a 5. Now, these Vanguard Bannermans do have the opportunities to be quite good here because they're different in that sense, right? If our opponent looks to make a tempo play onto the Broadwing, then we've still got to boost the rest of our squad. So has the opportunity for a little bit of strength here. Deep Meditation. Okay, so no recalls for Kennen yet. I'm curious if we're going to be able to attack with our Poppy. And at this point, it looks like we're going to be able to. He's going to have to recall Kennen, play another Kennen to get that going. He could play the Monastery, whatever the 3-cost landmark is that puts the copy into play, to which point we'd have to attack right now. But I think this is all okay. And with the Homecoming, sure. Exactly what I was talking about. Now, are we wanting to just go ahead and trade away a unit at this point? I think that's okay. Just get rid of the Broadwing. We're going to refill our board, and we can just go ahead and get rid of the weaker unit. All right. Haven't been able to do particularly much damage this game, but we're about to really start popping off on our board.
All right, let's get to work.
He has the ability to start just like putting marks onto Poppy, which is fine. That he would, from his perspective, he'd want to put one on her now and then one on her next turn so he could stun her out of combat, but he may not get the initiative to do that. Killing our Durandi Sculptor. You got it. So this turn should be done. I don't feel like an open is that good. This is going to be another spot to where like we try and come in and block on the Kennens, and then he just recalls them. And so let that go.
Every work demands a piece of ourselves.
Stay safe. I'll take it from here.
Okay.
A symbol worth fighting for.
Our squad's all big. Let's get into combat now. Comes in with Shadow Assassin. Sure. So Poppy's going to, of course, boost our whole squad. Everyone's going to grow with this attack. You can see that with the Oracle Eye. Let's just pick up the good ones where we can. We still want to, like, force something onto Kennen if we can. He's not going to be a guaranteed kill this round, but we do want him to have to at least take some kind of action to protect him. Along with these other two, let's go ahead and kill the elusives. Do this a little bit better. Protect our Fleet Feather Tracker for when he recalls the Kennen. I assume our Broadwing is going to be our weakest unit at this point. It's going to keep shrinking and shrinking. Right, so we just need a rally. That's the kind of downside. This is a very similar in strategy to playing against something like the Sun Disk, is to where you know, you get an attack in and they say, okay, LOL, block everything and you don't deal any damage, and then you need that second attack to come in and close out the game. We're just a little bit weak here without a rally. Cataclysm's kind of a way to get one, but not exactly. We don't have a scout unit to Cataclysm right now. And then you can't Cataclysm Poppy. Well, you can Cataclysm Poppy, but she doesn't provide the boost, right? She grants allies. Oh shit! Hang on. Oh, it's her level up, her attack thing. That's where I've gotten confused with this before. You can Cataclysm Poppy, and her attack ability pops off. It's her level up doesn't count though. She needs another unit to attack with her to count towards a level up. Okay. I think he's got a big old bunch of marks. Okay. So I'd like to see him spend some mana. Ideally, we'll get to Cataclysm before this turn is over. And then we'll get to kill with an open attack next turn. Then if he does come in and say, try and put the 3 damage onto Poppy, you can still Cataclysm while you're stunned. And so don't worry about that. All right, let's see if he's got a recall. Right, we can do this Cataclysm Poppy into Ezreal. He can physically recall Ezreal, which will counterspell the Cataclysm, but that's going to take him out of combat. Okay. All right. He's going to need a lot of booms from Ezreal to stop this attack next turn. This is what it's going to come down to, though. We'll have 2 7 attack units, and so he's going to have to try and punch through those. So, reasonable chance we die, right? He can pop off a bunch of Mystic Shots and shit, but I was going to say, this turn should take some work to get out of. Beautiful. Beautiful. Market a W for bust. Did you mark it? We did. Nice. Hope we don't have to play against that too often. I don't like that match, but it's certainly winnable. That's the kind of spot to where if you're really wanting to interact with them with one of these base Demacia decks, you kind of have to be playing something like single combat. And I just have no intention of doing that. So it is what it is. All right, on to the next battle. The old Action Kaisa. I'm kind of curious how these matchups feel. Like, I don't want to get locked into the concept that we have to be banning Kaisa. That's our initial intent, is to come out and ban Kaisa, but if we come across a matchup to where something looks particularly scary, then it's okay to leave her up sometimes.
I sculpt what others
Okay,
only dream.
fairly awkward start, but this is why when I was talking about the Broadwing, kind of enjoying it in this exact situation to where we have a 2-drop, we have another 2-drop that we're about to play, and then we have all this leftover spell mana that we need something to do with. Okay, I don't want to lead out with the Durandi Sculptor. We'll give him the option on what he wants to hook here. He goes for our Sculptor. It makes sense. We'll go ahead and take down Dum Dum here. But this is a pretty powerful draw into us. Like, this is the strength of our deck against a lot of the other decks, right? When we're able to play the same units as an opponent, but grow our units bigger than their units. He's doing a little bit better of a job of it here with his Broadwing, but that's a lot of the idea of playing Bard. Dude, get in there and do your thing. Can't imagine he blocks with the Broadwing. It's not a particularly scary attack. I'm not feeling good about this one. He's gotten the pretty reasonable tempo draw onto us. So he's got a Kaisa flip with the scout we can't interact with. Okay, GG. It was just too much. We may have been able to do something there if he didn't have the Broadwing directly onto the tough, but that's why the Kaisa deck's good, right? That's most certainly why we're playing it. You get to do shit like that. Punish the awkward draws when your opponents have them. All right. More Kaisa. I love seeing these Star Guardian skins, you know? Riot has to make $1 or $2 every once in a while, and, you know, if we want them to stay in business and keep making children's card games for us, then they have to make some money somewhere. And so every time you see one of these Kaisas, it's like somebody just sent Riot a $20 bill. Say, thank you. I appreciate it. But here with this board, I don't want to play the Fleet Feather Tracker. I'm never going to build up an early game turn to where we want to get this Fleet Feather Tracker trading. And we have this double Durandi Sculptor hand to where we're going to have to get a little bit of value out of what we're doing. And so we do have the opportunities to potentially get good Fleet Feather Tracker attacks this round. Or if he wants to attack with action again next turn, we should be reasonably well built up to get a takedown. Really going to drop a bird here? Interesting. Well, we are getting a nice build-up of stats. Big boy Bard coming down. It says, check my 7 health, bruh. So I got all the sculptors giving me the boosts. So this upcoming turn is the kind of turn where ideally we'll get something out of a Ranger's Resolve. So we'll take the full board. I'm sure he's not super happy about the way it looks. Then we'll try and get some takedowns here. Definitely attacking with everybody, and so hoping we have a good Ranger's Resolve.
The starlight isn't a gift, it's a burden.
Where's my hammer?
Hello?
Okay. So his 2 champions live, his 2 smaller units die. Our whole squad survives this. So ideally we'll be able to survive this upcoming attack from Kai'Sa. She's maybe going to get flipped. She did just go up to 5 with the likes of Valor, but it's a fairly limited crew that he can be dropping here to get her flipped. And this is one of these spots where I don't want to like read into this too much, because I do intend on just banning this match every time. It does suck to see this kind of thing happen and be like, oh cool, you're just pulling off the full combo on us and there's nothing we can do. But I feel like this is still going like okay. Like, if we'd known that he was going to pull off the full combo on us, maybe we would have stopped to have considered saving the Ranger's Resolve for this turn to stop all the Kai'Sa pings, but I think it's okay. So he's pulling in 2 units that would just die anyways. I don't think I'm too worried about it, right? We have the opportunity to just take down Valor if we want, but I think we need to be protecting our Bard out of this and saving the sharp sight for him. Might just be dead here. I mean, he's gonna have the good hooks in. Yeah. Okay. GG. So yeah, it's one of those downsides. Like, I don't want to read into that too much because our plan is to just ban Kai'Sa. This is I think I got to mention it in the previous video as well. Is it really sucks that there's no way to play best of 3 this week. Like, I'm not really in the camp of best of 3 should have its own ladder queue, or the ladder should just be best of 3. I don't feel like that's really the way to go about it. Like, I know that you can do that in Magic, but kind of like whatever. But again, I think it's like kind of unfortunate as you're coming up on the kind of premier event of the season. If you're a casual player and you're like, oh wow, seasonals is here, I want to kind of try out that format and see what it's like. You just can't do it. And then if you're an actual player in the meta, or a player in the format, like, am I supposed to either just like concede to Kai'Sa because our intent is to ban, or do we just play it out for no reason? Like, if we're going to think of ladder rank being as particularly important here, like, it's just it feels off. Like, it feels like they've poorly set up the week leading into their premier event. So the next thing that you have to kind of like stop and consider with that is if you're one of these people that actually needs to grind the ladder, right? If you need a really strong ladder performance in order to secure a world's birth or something, you also have to kind of pick and choose how you want to handle that in terms of do I just go out and play best of 3s somewhere else, or do I look to just play ladder instead? I don't know. I feel like there's probably a better system to go about it, and I'm curious as to the new guy has said that they're looking to put a bigger importance onto competitive play. So I'm kind of curious if they'll change anything in those terms. But at the end of the day, this has all been fine. We've been protecting our good units and our broad wings. I didn't care to trade our 1-drop for his sharp sight. We'll just go ahead and protect our good unit with the 2/2. Like, none of this is particularly compelling gameplay here. Making a bunch of trades I'm perfectly content to be making. Not willing to trade a sharp sight for a bright steel protector, though. We'll hang on to this for a little bit later.
Wouldn't be a quest without
Okay.
some danger.
Big boy Bard's here to party.
Don't worry.
Okay, so how do we want to go about this? I'm going to block something with Bard. The question is, like, how much do we actually care about what he's doing? I think we just look to block Poppy, take the 3 from Tarek, and then we're going to look to next turn to just open attack. We'll have a good hook onto Poppy with her having a low health. And then Jarvan should be enough to take down Tarek. I don't want to get like super involved in this combat while his units are tough and while he probably has a Pale Cascade in hand. It just doesn't feel super awesome. Right, here comes our Jarvan bro. Oh, he just hard passed on that combat. Wow.
Just a little farther.
Right behind you.
Look at this tick up. We got the +4 on our Bard today. That feels pretty good, right? That's pretty good.
Every work demands a piece of ourselves.
The shield of Valorant.
Says I got more Terex. I ain't scared of your shit.
I am both.
Can't stop them. Brace yourselves.
So how bad is this? Like, if we assume that he's just going to have one combat trick, I don't think it's that bad. We can just take a 10 hit here to not really struggle with it. Okay. Aegis is a little more problematic. We can still block and not die, but I was really hoping to get a big open attack next turn.
Never submit.
Fall to 2. Okay.
Unyielding.
What did I miss there? Oh shit, the thing carried over. Fuck. Not used to that rally coming in off of the Tarek.
Away with you.
All right. We pick up something good. More bards. All right, Durandi Sculptor, not really the follow-up we're looking for, but she did just pick up 500,000 stats, so I guess we can't complain about that piece of it. Our bard is so close to flipping as well.
Needs a finishing touch.
So this is tough. I think we need to come in with this, right? Well, we probably just have to, if we bring everything, we're one short of lethal, right? He can, if he blocks Jarvan and then takes a value block onto one of our small boys. But this at least forces a block from the Solari Soldier. We have to bring in Jarvan to get him to block with Tarek. And I kind of think as the game progresses, we might find opportunities to hit chimes, and if we're hitting chimes, then we should just have bigger units than our opponent. But I'm curious if he's able to win this game without a Tarek at this point. And so I feel like with us having 2 units behind, it might be enough to survive through this. That was a nice growth with old Tarek. Yeah. Okay. Probably just dead. We shouldn't have anything that lets us get out of this if he just opens, but see what he does.
You're Tarek, the protector.
Climb well, and good luck on
All
your
right.
journey.
GG. But Poppy Tarek is kind of the other idea. I don't like Poppy Tarek as a deck, but that's another one that we could look to fill in our lineup. If we're looking to do this thing to where we're just playing triple rally Demacia and we're playing Kaisa and we're playing Scouts, then Poppy Tarek fits that same kind of role as a big Demacia-based rally deck. So it's an interesting one. It's another one that I think it came into popularity last season, or maybe the season before. I think it was last season was where Poppy Tarek kind of started to pop off, but not something I was super interested in pursuing. I just never really liked it. Okay, then up here against Annie Jen, we'll just put as many units on the board as early as we can. Ideally, we'll get some challengers in front of this Annie to take her down in combat, but right now, I just wanted to have a blocker on board in case he makes more plays. He does not, interestingly.
What others only dream of.
That's not good stuff out of Poppy, out of the Annie deck. So can we just like switch to Broadwing now? It's probably a little dangerous. I'm gonna go ahead and add the Valor, just to make sure we have a second challenger for this board. And the Scout's quite useful since we can try and Scout Hook and Annie. Okay. Didn't get away with it, but he had to spend some mana, so his chances of protecting her here now are much lower. There we go. Hit those chimes on turn... Oh, it's a little after turn 3, but... I forgot how good it feels to just start hitting the chimes. Both our Broadwings are the same size here. Okay. Doing a bunch of stuff I just don't really care about. All right, let's empty out this board. Poor Durandi Sculptor. I'm gonna boost our smaller unit here. As our big one takes the 2 damage, it's still big enough to take down a 3 health unit on its next attack, and then our 4 health barriered one is still big enough to take down Jen. I feel like we're looking pretty good, pretty strong. Okay. He's pretty well tapped out of cards now. He's got Jen plus 1 more. Our life is extremely healthy. We have a pretty big board. This is looking good. So how big are we going to go next turn? If we want to play like mana efficiently, then I think we should play Bard, then we can do Protege, then we can do Bannerman. There is just like a very real chance he doesn't attack here, though. Alright. He's got a trick or something and this goes wrong, it's okay. We're still about to just completely refill. Alright, Broheim's about to get Tybalak. He's a little scary, but hopefully we got enough now. Get them big Bannerman boosts for our Bard-like things. Not bad, not bad. Gonna be 1 short. We had a potential lethal with the 4 damage from our Broadwing. Alright, a little scary. Definitely not excited to take this to another round, but we'll see. We'll see. Nice addition for opponent there. We'll try to get this Bannerman on board first. Just as means to prevent as much damage as we can. Why is he going after our small thing? Like it seems like his path to victory is going to be through Bard.
My shield is yours.
Alright, he's doing something. Like I don't know how we would get us here outside of being like some weird combat with a Death Lotus or something. I'm not. We seem far enough ahead. I'd think he needs to like attack with Tybalak and then try and burn us out.
My steel is yours.
So yeah, I mean like Death Lotus would be scary, but we should survive it. I don't know why we're still playing this game. I'm about to get a learning moment, I guess. Here comes the whole hand. Death Lotus, okay. Death's Hand, Blade's Edge. Is that enough? Not quite. I was on point with that Death Lotus, but man. Whew, scary stuff. All right. Mark it a W for the good guys. That's us. We're the good team. Good team. All right, on to the next one. So I feel like I haven't given you all any real choice life advice here in recent times, and so I've really got something for you here as we play our third worthless match of the video. And that I used to have like a racing chair. You put gaming chair in the kind of nerd parlance. It's going to be some kind of DX racer style of chair. I had a DX racer brand. I don't care what brand you do or do not prefer, but you know what I'm talking about. They kind of look like the racing chairs, the racing seats you would see in a car. But nonetheless, I needed a new chair. My DX racer chair lasted maybe like 5 or 6 years before the bottom of it was just done, and so it was time to get a new one. And then the wife wasn't super excited about the look. It didn't really do it for her, and that wasn't what she wanted. Just kind of in the house, she wanted a more classic kind of normal officey chair looking thing, and so that's what I got. I have no complaints about the chair, except here's the big except: I didn't get a leather chair this time. This is one with like a cloth seat on it, and like I'll get sweaty on occasion, right? We're getting really intense with these videos. I'll like sometimes sit on my leg, like I'll cross one of my legs underneath my other one and kind of sit on it, and it's leads to a bit of sweat happening, and that leads to some like stink. And so I've never in my life had to buy Febreze for a chair to try and get like the ass sweat stink off of it, because I mean in this room I've got like 3 computers running at any given time. And so it's not like a normal room of the house. It'll get hot in here, especially if I have to like shut the door to record YouTube videos with. And I didn't really anticipate the ass sweat stink that was going to be upon us. And so as you youngsters get older, and as you old folks look to spend money on higher quality things, keep that in mind. You know, whenever the wife says, "I don't want one of those racing chairs that looks fucking stupid. We're adults. I want an adult-looking chair in here." Well, you could say, "Well, hey, woman, that's how you should probably address it, right?" That's how you get the shit slapped out of you. If you start with, "Hey, woman, let me tell you about this guy I watch play video games and what he says about office chairs." let me know how that convo goes for you. You should say it nicely and with respect. You say, "Dear, I was watching FTP Bust play video games, and he said his chair stinks, and so I'm going to get a leather one." And you can decide on the style, but I'm not going to let this ass sweat get all up in the chair and be stinky in there. Ultimately, every time I know I should just spend like the $1,500 on a Herman Miller and just use that thing forever, but If I get another 5 years or so out of this thing, I guess I'll be okay with it. But alright, back to the action, back to the game. We have a little bit of opportunity to get blown out with these attacks here. And so this is like a little tough in what we get ourselves invested with. These decks typically play some amount of sharp sights and then some amount of toughs. And we can't play around both, but we can play around a little bit. I think we're fine to just come out and play around a tough. So an attack like this looks good. Right? I want to put one more attack onto action, one more attack onto valor. And now we can just say, well, if he has a sharp sight, that sucks for us. So let's go ahead and attack with the Radiant. If he wants to trade, or I should say if he wants to get a sharp sight based takedown to where he puts a 5/5 in front of our dude or a 5 attack, whatever this thing is in front, then sure. We've at least played around the painful and the powerful cards here. So we're getting some nice stuff built up here, though. He doesn't play anything, which is pretty soul-crushing for his board. Now, as we roll into the next turn, ideally we'll get Genevieve on the board. She'll boost our squad. She won't die. And then next turn, if we get the open attack with Genevieve, she immediately summons Jarvan. And we should get the opportunity for 2 attacks this round with Jarvan. Okay, Kais is here to party. Let's see if he has a supercharge. If he has a supercharge, it's a little unfortunate, but I guess the scout unit is the only one I'm ultimately worried about here. Let's just pass. I think we might still be able to take this down with Genevieve plus Jarvan, but okay, definitely not nearly as worried. We can drop Genevieve now. She'll protect our units from the Acacian Rain, and then now next turn we should have reasonable attacks with our Jarvan coming into Kaisa. Alright.
Their pride will cost them.
Oh shit, he's just straight up flipped. I wasn't even paying any attention to that. Not a bad spot to be in. I mean, I planned it that way. I planned on having this Jarvan come in with 3 mana so we could get the Cataclysms going. Alright. Still managed a victory. GG. I hope that guy comes back and finds our video and gets some good knowledge on chair selection. Get the ass stink out of his gaming room. Yeah, somebody try that statement and let me know how it goes. Woman, in direct parlance to your significant other. Woman. The fucking boomer I watch play video games told me to get a leather chair. Fuck style. Fuck style. That's right. Oh, I bet that goes well. All right, on to the next one. What are we up against here? Caitlyn, PNZ, Bandle City. No idea what's actually coming out of this. I assume it's some kind of trap deck, but I'm going to venture a guess that this is someone playing a Curious Shellfolk deck. Concurrent timelines, okay. Scratch that. He's playing concurrent timelines. Maybe he's trying to take advantage of the recently buffed Risu of the Storm. Where'd our boost go? On to Bannerman. Do we think we can get an attack in this turn with Durandi Sculptor? I mean, probably not. Let's open with Bird. Like, if he comes out and plays, say, Conchologist now, I don't want to be just throwing away our birds and stuff when we do have some opportunities to boost all of our squad. So this single bird may not make it, but our future units, if they get grown by the Bannerman or hit a bird tick, we might have some options now that they're boosted by the Sculptor. Okay. All right. Bannerman time it is. Where you at, Bard? Bard's only at 13. I feel like he should have flipped off of that play. We're getting close, though. All right, what you got for us, Dudeheim? El Duderino. Hate this card so much. Not Reggie, you're okay. Concurrent timelines. I don't like having to deal with these predicts every turn. I'll keep my bitching to a minimum this game, I guess, but not a huge fan.
Where's my hammer?
I think, let's be real, we can give up on our Durandi Sculptor at this point. If he wants to put his Mountain Goat in front of Sculptor, that's fine. Next turn, we're still looking pretty good to add Bird and play Golden Aegis, and then hopefully punch this down with 2 more attacks. Ooh. It's been a while. I gotta bring back the memories of how I'm the low roller in terms of flashbang traps. Really surprised it didn't hit our Fleet Feather. Oh, there goes our rally. Unfortunate.
Look, a thing.
Elf, that's not ours.
Ha! Maybe our rally is not gone. Bring it right back. F you, buddy. Okay. It's unfortunate. That was going to be a pretty strong... Is that a fast spell? I mean, maybe we got the good end of the bargain there. I don't think Time Winder is fast, so if we'd tried to play it on our smaller thing, would have just failed. All right, have to slow it down. That was a pretty big flurry of burn spells coming at us. Interesting. There we go. All the chimes, a little bit of that Genvivi action. It's pretty good.
My strength is yours.
I still got that 40-year-old virgin line stuck in my head. It's like, okay, it might be a virgin, but I'll fuck you up. That's what I want to say. Like every time I start dropping some of these cards. Such a great line. Uh-oh, he paused on that one. Is he going to have the Mystic Shot here for real? For real? All right. Well, we're building up some more board, but he's got the timelines down. He's got the opportunities to pop off. A little scary. A little scary. More Tenor of Terrors. Okay. It's a big old boy you just picked up. He's never blocking this Crocolith. I mean, hopefully we can get punched through next turn, but he's not going to be playing like Atrocity off of this thing, and so we can reasonably just take the damage. Add in Bird. Another spot. I mean, we're short of lethal. We need something good to happen here. My God, are we going to lose this? Bard's starting to do his thing, but... This doesn't feel awesome. So, I mean, like, how many good blocks is he going to have here? If we want to take the path of hooking the Crocolith with Protege, I don't think that's where we're going to go. His blocks here are just too good against the rest of our board. I think we want to hook in Caitlyn with the Protege and then see if we can't get something positive somewhere else. I don't like the attack with the Bell Ringer that much, but he'll probably... Right, so let's pull this out and stop and think. And so... If he puts, say, the 7/7 in front of our Bright Steel, puts a 3 health in front of our Bannerman, and then puts Iron Ballista in front of the Bell Ringer, then we get in for 3. He gets to keep his good unit. I think this is okay. Right, this comes here. He's going to put his Bassa Burden in front of Bannerman. Put his 4/3 in front of our 2/1. Now we sharp sight down the 4/3, punch in for 3. Still have 2 units left over, but... He has 5 cards in hand. Doesn't feel great. I'm curious if we got a little too spewy with that Genevieve. Like, it is painful dealing with the amount of card advantage cards that we've had to run into, right? He's played Bass of Burden plus Hidden Pathways, whatever the card draw spell's called. And so we might have gotten a little spewy there. Genevieve coming back to save the day, though. We can save her for next turn. This is scary. Like, let's say he hits, like, Poison Dart and is able to kill our bird. Then do we have to block the Crocolith? Falling to 2 against this P and Z deck. Not ideal. Not ideal. Jesus.
Of course, he'd pick the highest cave.
The wood can't fight back.
All right. I don't intend to block with Genevieve this turn, but we can't let him hook our Bell Ringer with the Boxtopus and then not die. We have to get a kill here, and then we can take the 7 hit and hope for the best. So pretty good chance we're dead here, but I don't think we ever win this game with just like Genevieve in the face of the Climber. We need to hit like a rally or a... I'm sorry, we need to hit like a barrier or something to boost her up. Otherwise, we're never going to attack through that stuff. So, that's close. I think our initial one may have been a little bit spewy, though. Like, I mean, I haven't played against that deck before. I wasn't really expecting Bassa Burden into more card draw, so I didn't think we were going to have to deal with that kind of shit. But I think we got a little aggressive there. Okay, now up against Darkness, I think I'm okay to hang on to this whole hand. The thing that may be unfortunate is if we have to trade a early Durandi Sculptor for the 3/2 Darkness Grower, but outside of that, we have a lot of opportunities for this Poppy to be quite good. And then we have a little bit of protection with the Sharp Sight. So we'll start to go ahead and pass. I'd like to grow our Broadwing before we get involved in this combat.
Need repairs?
Right, let's see. You can have Vile Feasts and stuff here, but I think that's where we stop. Okay, I'm gonna just start charging up Poppy. We have another Sharp Sight to protect her with, and I think there's a decent chance we'll get her leveled up this game. Okay. See how those tables turn. right, not bad. It was a 3 damage darkness, so we'll get to hang on to the Broadwing. Let it grow a little bit more next turn. Don't think we want to open here. Oh my gosh, how greedy are we going to get? I think if Poppy was... oh, I forgot she didn't get that bonus earlier. Maybe that was a bit of a greedy path, but... Let's go bigger now. Oh, that's fucking brutal. At least we get this little nugget in. And we have a rally for next turn as well. So maybe it'll be alright, but a little scary how that's played out. 2 wasted chimes, too bad. You're so close to flipping bird. What was that? He played Formal Invitation, right? That's a... Oh. I thought that was the thing that made dudes. Create copies in hand of 2 alloyed followers that have died this game. He's only had the 1 die this game, right? Alright, let's fuck shit up. What 3 health units would we have? We can, like, take this hook so we can continue to use our Broadwing. I think that's going to be good. This game should be done. Let's be real. I'm being real with you right now. This game is done. If you want, you can put that right in your pipe, smoke it on up. This shit's over with. Emote it. Got him. All right, so not bad, not bad. I mean, this is the space where it gets tough for me again, right? I don't want to say that if we could go and like jump into a best of 3 queue, that we would get to play against like on meta decks all the time, right? Even in playing through all of our last chance gauntlets over the weekend, we still had to play a bunch of like off meta and people that didn't have like real collections and stuff like that. But this is like something I just wish there was some kind of like moderately decent answer to, other than just like not sitting in dumpster masters, I guess. But we played 8 games that took, about an hour. We played 3 matchups that were completely irrelevant and having to play Kai'Sa 3 times, right? I just plan on banning Kai'Sa, so that was a waste of my time. We played against concurrent timelines Caitlyn. Can't imagine we'll play against that ever. If it was like the Trundle version, then fine, but playing against that was probably also a waste of time. And so I feel like we got in, at least from what was memorable, 2 matchups that weren't a waste of time. We got to play against Poppy Tarek, and we got to play against the Darkness deck there at the end. And it's brutal. It sucks if you're going to be, kind of a lone wolf out there, you just have to just deal with shit. And it's just, there's no way to do it if you don't have like a team supporting you, or if you don't have another like avenue to go after it within the game client. The ways for me to prepare for seasonals are just like hamstringingly painful, as we just saw right here. Just stuck playing shit that is not relevant to me. And so, at least in on kind of like a global sense, I wish that there was a way around this, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. But at least in terms of this deck, I was happy with the deck. There's some stuff I wasn't super happy with. I even though I don't intend to play against Kai'Sa, I think we may need some way to interact just a little bit. And whether or not that's adding in a Cataclysm or taking out Cataclysm and adding in a single combat, I want to have like a little bit of something that lets us interact with an opponent fairly cheap and not have it be some kind of combat-related thing. And so I would like to fit in maybe a single combat. Otherwise, I think I was happy with this. I don't feel the need to play 3 Laurent Proteges. I think maybe 2 would be okay, so that's a potential place to cut. It's just, without it dealing 3 attack, It's not a particularly strong card, and with the weakness to Bard, our chances of having the Protege being a 3 attack on turn 3 aren't nearly as high. And so that's one that I would look to cut. And then I don't think we need to play Radiant Guardians here. I don't know the last time I've played Pirates. I feel like I've played Pirates maybe like, I don't know, once in the past 50 games. And while I do expect it to be at a higher play rate at seasonals, I don't feel like we can bring cards like Radiant Guardian in a deck like this, especially when some of the other matchups in what should be a pirate-centric lineup, say with like Annie Gens, we wouldn't need the Radiant Guardian there. And so I think that's the other kind of place that we're going to look to make cuts. But otherwise, I think I'm happy with this. I'm still happy with the 2 copies of Ranger's Resolve. I'm still happy with the Genevieves, whatever we're going to call her today. I think there's a lot of real and strong and raw power there, but a couple of places to make some improvements before Seasonals gets here. And I'm leaning towards this being like what we bring. I can look towards Poppy Tarek, but again, like I think this... even with the Bard nerfs, I think the Bard nerfs are kind of overstated. And this is actually a powerful deck that's going a little bit under the radar. And so I'll get in some more games with it, see how we feel, see how we think. But I've been pretty happy with this up to this point. And so that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.